Well, hello there and welcome to the channel with me, Simon, your Cockney Monty Don, where we'll be answering the question, is there a cold, hardy, edible banana that you can grow right here in the UK? Well, there's a question, because if you're looking for a banana that can produce fruits such as you would expect to find in your local supermarket, then you, my fellow, are going to have a problem, because those are Cavendish bananas and they are tropical and they will not grow when temperatures drop below 10 degrees, and they're not going to fruit unless you have much higher light levels and much higher day and night temperatures. That's not saying that hardy bananas don't exist. Just look at this lovely Musa Bananas, which will indeed flower and fruit here in the UK. The only downside to that is that the fruits are absolutely full of seeds. So if you were to try and eat one, you're more than likely just to break your teeth, especially if you are of a certain age. Now, there may be a little bit of pulp just around the outside of these seeds, but you know, there's no fun in trying to lick off a little bit of pulp from a seed. It's unsightly. Nobody wants to see you do that. Now bear with me, because I'm going to go a little bit left field for a minute. Now you've got your Musa Bananas, which is Musa genus and Musaceae family. You've got your Cavendish banana, which is a genetic mutation of Musa acuminata, again Musa genus, Musaceae family. But there is a banana, or banana likey, that's also in the Musaceae family, which is edible and is kind of hardy, although not edible in a way that you may imagine, because it doesn't produce edible fruits. Let's go and have a look, because I've got one in the garden. Now this handsome devil here is the Enset ventricosum morellii, and this is a Musa-like plant from Ethiopia. Let's take a closer look. Now this handsome fellow here, this plant makes up the staple food group of a very large proportion of Ethiopia, but it's not the fruits that's edible, and it's not even the stems that are edible. It is in fact the roots that are edible. So as far as growing a plant in this country from the banana family that is edible, I'm going to allow this one to go in. I know it's not strictly a banana, I know it doesn't actually produce bananas that are even edible, but it is edible nonetheless if you eat the roots. Okay, I can hear some of you already shouting at the screen saying, "Here, Simon, that Enset ventricosum, that's not hardy. That only goes down to about 10 degrees, and then you got to bring it in because it ain't hardy." No one speaks like that, really. I just made that up. That's not strictly true. That is not strictly true. 10 degrees, it will go much hardier, and I know it will go much hardier because I've often left them outside to over winter unprotected, because I got bored with them and thought, I'm not going to lift it, I can't be bothered with it, and they've come back after the winter, resprayed, got very big, and in subsequent years I've kept them. I've looked after them properly, taken off all the leaves, protected the stem, mulched the ground so that the roots are protected, and they've come back year after year after year. And probably even longer than that. I said I keep moving houses and I don't like lifting them, because all the times that I've lifted them to overwinter them, they've generally had, like, you know, 50% of the time they'll get a sort of like stem infection, like a fungal rot, and it will just kill over in the spring. So no good. I've always had so much better results by leaving them outside in situ in the garden, and that's in the south coast of England. And I would say anecdotally that it will take temperatures down to about -2. Possibly a smidge more, but only for short periods of time. I mean, really, -2 is probably the limit of it, but you have to protect it. You've got to put some work in if you want to keep them, and you really do, because after about 3-4 years they are a absolutely fantastic specimen. So hardy, is -2 hardy? it's on the cusp of hardy. It's on the cusp of hardy, but they all survive. They do look shriveled up, a bit crap rotten, and you generally would not think they'll survive. But it's almost like a phoenix, and almost a phoenix of bananas. This this Enset. I know some people say Enseti, but I'm sticking to Enset because no one speaks Latin anymore, so I can make it up as I go along. So hardy, kind of, edible, definitely. So if you think about it outside of the question, then yes, there is one hardy edible banana that you can grow outside all year round in the UK. It's the only one. You must give it extra protection for it to come back the following year. Now I know lots of people will lift them, will put them on, put them in your garage. What do you want to do? If you want to do that, that's absolutely fine. At least the following year, if it survives and doesn't get those basal rots, then you will still get a much bigger plant. Or just grow it in a pot all year round and move it around. But for me, I cannot be bothered with all that extra work. They're not terribly expensive. I'm quite happy to leave them outside. I don't expect this year to be particularly cold, because last year when it was -7, -8, and I'll be honest with you, the Abyssinian bananas will not survive that temperature. They're way too low. Although the Musa Bananas was absolutely fine, even the stem stayed intact, and that's why it's so much bigger this year. So if you've got any questions, if there's anything you want to add, I mean, you could throw in other hardy varieties. I know they get hardier. Some of them, like the Sicumensis, you know, gets hardier as it becomes more mature, but I've not had an awful lot of luck with that one. But you know, if you've got any great choices of other hardy bananas, particularly edible bananas, then let us know in the comments. We would love to hear from you. Anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.